As we approach Election Day, we're taking a look at where Kamala Harris and Donald Trump stand on a variety of issues. Today, let's take a look at one of the most fundamental. Kamala Harris has framed the election in part as a fight to preserve American democracy.
Our fundamental freedoms are on the ballot, and so is our democracy.
Trump is the only president in U.S. history who has refused to accept his loss.
If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us.
Let's take a look at three core areas that show us how the candidates approach democracy and democratic norms. Harris has committed to accepting the results of the 2024 election and has condemned Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. As the current vice president, Harris will preside over the certification of the election results on January 6th. Her campaign has confirmed that she will not try to interfere with the counting. Trump, on the other hand, has refused to commit to accepting the election results if he loses, and he has not ruled out the possibility of political violence. In 2022, he even suggested the, quote, termination of the Constitution. He's indicated that if he's elected again, he will pardon many of the people who were arrested for their actions on January 6th. Harris supports two significant pieces of legislation that would expand voting rights and counter restrictions that have been passed in Republican-led states. The first is the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, which would restore parts of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 that the Supreme Court has overturned or weakened. The second bill that she supports is the Freedom to Vote Act, which would take a number of steps to make voting more inclusive. Trump opposes both of those bills.
They don't have a voting rights bill, they have a voting fraud bill.
Trump has frequently attacked mail voting, saying falsely that it's insecure, and he has spread conspiracy theories about voting machines and other parts of the electoral system. Republican state legislators have used this misinformation to push tighter restrictions on voting. Trump has endorsed many of those restrictions, and he's called for a national voter ID law that would most likely be stricter than the one Democrats have proposed. Trump has indicated that he would end the norm of Justice Department independence, openly threatening to use the levers of government to punish his political opponents.
I am your justice, and for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution.
Harris has condemned that, saying she would preserve Justice Department independence. Trump has also floated the idea of pardoning himself, something no president has ever tried to do. In most campaigns, democracy itself is not an issue. It's just the system through which all the other issues are adjudicated and considered. But because of Trump's actions over the past few years, democracy itself is on the table.